Yo YouTube, this is my video for Wednesday the 10th of September. It is now just gone 9:05 and I finished my non-CX job from yesterday in Kings Lynn. Finally finished at 8:35. I was meant to be on site at 8, but the traffic in Kings Lynn was really difficult, worse than usual. And as it is, I arrived on site about 4 minutes before the site contractors arrived because they got stuck in the same traffic. So no one was delayed. So I got that offloaded, and then I brought myself to the other side of Kings Lynn towards the sort of south and west side. And I've just done a copy of a map to show you that there's only one other driver very close. He or she, I suppose, they are based in Kings Lynn, and they're that yellow marker just above me to the left. And there are other active drivers close enough to get jobs from Kings Lynn, but I'm obviously the only currently active driver actually in Kings Lynn, which would be great if there were jobs here, but at the moment there aren't any. I've been looking for the last half an hour and there's no jobs from this area. I can probably just about get to Boston, Peterborough and Huntingdon within a time scale that works for people. Really, Boston's an hour away, Peterborough's about just less than an hour away, and Huntingdon's about an hour away as well. Or looking into Norfolk, you've got Fakenham, Swaffham, Dereham possibilities. I could even get up to sort of Hunstanton area. I don't think the day drivers there at all. I'll look in a moment, but I don't think my map goes that far up. So I'm going to stick here for a bit longer. I don't really know what to do if nothing comes up. I think I should probably give it longer than usual, at least an hour, and see what happens. If nothing comes up, I'll head towards Wisbech first of all, and then see how that goes. So hopefully I'll get something. I'm already on £100 if you take half of that job today. So I'm optimistic that I'll make some decent money today. It can't be quite all day, surely, in here. If I'm about an hour from home, so if worst comes to the worst, I'll just head home and start looking from there. Obviously, when I got to Kings Lynn, there was jobs from Spalding and Bourne and Boston, all outside of my area, where I usually would get them if I was from home, but not today. So I'll let you know how it goes. Cheers. Hiya. So it is now 10:20. I hung around for about an hour or so until about 9:30 in Kings Lynn, and then I made my way towards Wisbech. Just dropped off some stuff at a charity shop that I had in my van, and then a job came up from Peterborough to Leicester. By that point I was half an hour away from the pickup. It's a long wheelbase van job for 47 loaded miles, and I'm 16 miles away from the pickup, and I put a bid of £60, 60, and I got that job. Interestingly, from my point of view at least, it's with a shipper that I have worked with before, and seems to be giving me jobs whenever I bid. Different shipper to other ones I've bid on, but they don't ever call me, they just put it through to me directly once I put a bid on. So that seems like that's taken a long time to develop, but it seems to be where we are now, which I'm pleased about. So I'm picking up a van load. I'll be there for about 10 to 11, so let's say off-site by 11. Just over an hour or so to Leicester, so I reckon I'll be offloaded around about 12:30. And at that point I would have made £160 for today, which is okay. I could do with having a big job after that, or a couple of little jobs. but it does seem like it's a bit like pulling teeth today on the CX. I think I got this job more because I'm a known quantity than where I was or my bid. I have put a map on of where I was in Wisbech and the surrounding drivers. You can see that King's Lynn was still pretty quiet, but it got me to a better location. I could get from there to sort of Boston, Sleaford, Bourne, Stamford, Peterborough, all that, still Ely. Much easier, but much better radius of jobs from Wisbech than there was from King's Lynn. There's nothing, I don't recall any jobs from Norfolk or King's Lynn when I was there for that hour. From 9 o'clock till from 8 o'clock to 9:30, I don't remember there being any jobs at all from that area. So I think that me moving across to Wisbech was a good idea. If I hadn't moved, I'd have been 55 minutes away from this job and probably wouldn't have got it, to be honest. That might be pushing it too much. As I was driving towards Wisbech, I was thinking, this feels like a game of chess today. It feels like it's my move. My move was to move from Kingston to Wisbech, and it feels like that was the right decision on this occasion. Right, hopefully in Leicester there'll be a multitude of jobs I can do, and a lack of drivers and good prices. I suspect my guess would be there'll be a lot of drivers, not many jobs, and I'll get something really cheap. Probably go to Nottingham. I'm going to predict Leicester to Nottingham, Hinckley to Nottingham. It's going to be more specific. Hinckley to Nottingham will be my job. I'll get £45 for it, and I'll be grateful for it as well. Welcome back. It is now 1:45. I have got my second stroke third job of the day. I'm travelling now down to Wigston, which is about 20 minutes drive south from where I am. It's 10 miles away to do a long wheelbase van pickup going to Uttoxeter, and it's about 56 miles loaded, and I got this for £60, 60. There was quite a lot of jobs I bid on when I was in this area, all sort of more shorter around the East Midlands, but I was pretty confident I'd get a job. I was probably waiting for around about total about 25 minutes. Now, unfortunately, I've got a bit of a bad feeling about this job. It'll probably be fine. It's just little things are putting me off. So the first thing is, I've seen this company around a lot, and I don't think I've ever won a job for them before. They often do a job from Boston to Uttoxeter. I often see them bid on those jobs. This is the first time I remember getting a job from them. And the first thing that I would like to explain is that the guy on the phone wasn't a native English speaker, and he didn't really understand what I was saying, and I didn't really understand all that he was saying, although I probably understood him better than he understood me. And the first thing that put me off, which is my personal thing, is he kept saying to me "what" as opposed to "pardon" or "could you repeat that" or "excuse me." And I found the "what" quite aggressive and quite unnecessary. I thought, well, fair enough, it's not his first language, so don't worry about it. But it did set the scene in my mind for my aggravation. The second thing is, the first question he asked was, what's your ETA? So I asked him, okay, what's the postcode where I'm going to? And he said, what's your ETA? I said, yeah, okay, so I'll tell you, what's the postcode, the full postcode? What's your ETA? What? I thought, now in my head, what is going on here? I'm being clear, we can't say each other. What is it he doesn't understand? So I said, so I went back to the, it's an LE, I think it's an LE18 postcode. So it's 25 minutes, which is what I'd guesstimated. And I said, I'm surprised you didn't know that, because I put that in my bid. And he looked and said, oh yes, it's in the bid. So he hadn't looked at the full details in the bid, and surely the ETA is really obvious. So at this point I was thinking, what is going on with this guy? He asked me for my vehicle reg, which I gave to him. That was okay in the end, we got there in the end. And then I asked him a question. And I thought this would be a good test to see what kind of outfit I'm working for. So I said, what are we taking? And he said, I don't know. Like offhand, like, why would I know? So I said, okay, in that case, what's the dimensions of the load? Again, I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter to him. And he basically said he knows he needs a long wheelbase. But other than that, he has no idea what I'm going to collect from Wigston. And that's what makes me feel a bit uneasy about this job. I don't believe they're a reputable outfit from the way that they were speaking to me and the way that they had lack of information. I suspect they don't really know what they're doing in terms of looking at the system, in terms of ETAs. But anyway, what can I do? I've got the job now. Oh, and the last thing that put me off was, he said, give me 10 minutes and I'll put it on the system. And I said to him, wait there, I could have done the job in 10 minutes. I'm not going to just wait on the off chance that you're going to give me the job. And he said, oh, give me 5 minutes. And I thought, I don't believe a word that you're saying here. I need to give him an unknown amount of time to put this on the CX. And I just don't understand why it takes more than sort of 30 seconds, to be honest. So I don't know, maybe it's new, maybe his system involves something else. But the booking's already in there. I bid on the booking on CX. It surely can't take very much time to assign that to somebody. Maybe he had to change some details, but then why did he do that before he put it on the booking? You know, the whole thing just smells of being pretty much incompetence, and I don't think I want to do another job for this company based on my experience so far. I've yet to do the job and I've yet to get paid, so we shall see how that all goes. But it's a shame because they do a lot of work around where I live. But I'll play it by ear. I'm not going to judge until I've finished the job. But I think it's going to be interesting. And then about 5 minutes later, he did send the job through to me. So it wasn't the 10 minutes, but it wasn't obviously that quick. So I didn't feel like usually I would head towards the postcode if I got given a job, but I just didn't trust I'd necessarily get this put through to me. So I thought I will keep looking for work, and when it comes through, at that point, I will then start making my way. Oh, that's bad. This car's going so slowly. As it was, there was no other work that I could bid on, and it came through, and I'm doing the job now. So I'm 15 minutes away from pickup. I'll be there at about 1:10 past 1. I'm guessing it's going to be around about, again, an hour and a half, load and unload. So, well, hopefully. So let's say 3 o'clock in Uttoxeter, and it's going to be a bit tough, I think, to get a job from there. I might head up to Stoke from that point. It's either Stoke or Derby, I think. It depends how busy it is. Okie dokie, I'll let you know. Cheers. Okay, so it's now just gone 3 o'clock. I've been hanging around for half an hour in Roaster, and I've decided my next move in this game of chess today is to head towards Derby. I'm just looking for a £60 job to finish my day off. If I get that, then I'll be on something like 210, 220 net for the day, and I'll be happy with that. At the moment I'm about 180, less than 180. So it's I just need one little job, and that's hopefully going to be more likely to go towards Derby rather than stay where I am. I've put a map up of the local area. There's a lot of drivers who are actively looking for work, so it could be tough. But I don't think staying here is going to be the best thing to do. So I'm going to head eastwards towards where I live, and I'll keep looking for jobs on the way, and hopefully something will come up heading eastwards. I am winning today's game of chess against the whole of the logistics industry in the UK, and I've just got myself another little job. I'm going to Swaddling Coat, which is 22 miles away from where I ended up. I ended up on the A50 just south of Derby, within sort of reach of Nottingham, Loughborough, Burton, obviously Swaddling Coat and Derby itself. And I am 22 miles away from pickup. I'm taking a long wheelbase van job to Wolverhampton, which is about 33 miles loaded. So that £60 I'm getting will be enough to make my day worth doing, and I can just drive home from Wolverhampton. But I will be on for the day 280 gross, and so I'll make something like 220 net, and I'm happy with that. So there's two moves I made, King's Lynn to Wisbech and from Roaster to Derby. Both resulted in small but worthwhile jobs, which have made in the end my day worth doing. So I shall get on with this job and then update you probably at the end of the day with my stats. The time now is just gone 4 o'clock, so I'll be at the pickup at 4:30, and I'm going to guess an hour for the trip, so 5:30 in Wolverhampton, home for about 7:30, 8 o'clock. If I don't get a job, depends on traffic somewhat, but at least it's going to be an okay day now. Welcome back. The weather has turned. It's quite dark, obviously you can see that now. It's now 7:30. I'm about an hour from home. Here are my stats for today. I have got my average fuel price of 13.74 pence per mile. Today I have driven 386 miles, 386. By the time I get home I will have worked for 13 and a half hours today. I've made £280, let's say. Basically it's 3 £60 jobs off CX, and then the £100 that I signed from yesterday's £200 job from this morning's drop off. And that means that with my fuel of £53.04 being taken off, my net earnings today comes to £227, 227. And over the last 3 days my average earnings after fuel per day comes to £210, 210. When I got to Wolverhampton it was about 5:30, and there's no suitable jobs for me to do, so I just headed straight home from there, and I'll be home at 8:30. I have got a job for tomorrow. It's not a brilliant job in that it's ending up in a poor area, but I've got an early start, so I'm hoping to find a second job to make tomorrow work. I'll tell you all about that tomorrow morning. Until then, thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope that you're all being successful. Have you chosen to find that word for yourselves? And I'll see you tomorrow, being Thursday. Farewell, friends.